Hi, I'm Greg Howlett, and I want to talk to you really quick about a major seventh chord, which is, by the way, a really cool chord. It sounds sort of like that. It's a very dissonant sound, but it's a sound that I use a ton, and everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody should use it, but a lot of you probably would really enjoy using it in your music. The major seventh is a four-note chord. The four notes are 1, 3, 5. We call them 1, 3, 5, and 7. The reason we skip numbers is because you skip a note. For example, this is a C major seventh chord, and we skip D, F, and A. So if you were going to number the notes in the chord, you'd have 1, 2, but we're leaving out 2, and we play 3. And that F would be 4, but we leave out 4. And then we play 5, which is G, but we leave out 6, which is A. So we call the notes 1, 3, 5, and 7 because they skip. We skip notes. Now, you have 4 notes, so you have 3 intervals between the notes. Interval is a distance between 2 notes. So you have an interval here, an interval here, and an interval here. Now, with 3 intervals, you have 4 notes. What you do, here's a little formula that'll help you quickly know how to build a major seventh based on any notes, any starting note on the piano. You just need to know the formula of each of those intervals. And the formula is, the first interval is 4 half steps, the second interval is 3 half steps, and then 4 more half steps, okay? 4 half steps between the first 2 notes, 3 half steps between the 2 middle notes, and then 4 half steps between the top 2 notes, okay? Now, a half step just means moving 1 note on the piano. And it doesn't matter if it's black or white, but if you start on, say, D flat, moving up 1 note, you'd move to D, okay? So if I say to move 4 notes, 4 half steps, starting on D, you'd go to D, E flat, E, and F, 4 half steps, okay? That's your first interval. The second interval is 3 half steps, G flat, G, A flat. And then 4 more half steps, A, B flat, B, and C. And there is your major seventh chord. Really, really cool sound on that chord. I'll show you how to use it here in just a second as well. But let's do one more. Starting on, let's say, G. The first interval is 4 half steps, 1, 2, 3, 4 to B. Then 3 half steps to D, and then 4 more half steps. And there's your chord. Now, here's another way you can do it. This is the way that some of the more advanced people will want to do to come up with this chord. You can just play a triad, a major triad, and then add the major seventh to it. Now, it's a little bit confusing because when we say major seventh, sometimes we're referring to an interval, which is 2 notes. That's called a major seventh interval. And sometimes we're talking about a major seventh chord, which is really what this video is about. So don't get confused. When I say to add a major seventh to a major triad, I'm referring to the interval, the note that is a major seventh away from the root, okay? Now, the way you find that note is very simple. You go down 1 half step from the root. The root is the bottom note in the chord. So if we have a C chord, the note that we add to this triad, this is a C major triad, the note we want to add is the note that's a half step down from the bottom note, which is C, which is B. So there is your triad. Now we don't play it down here. If we do, we have it. Sometimes that'll change the chord itself, but we find the note just by going a half step down from the C and then play it on top. Okay, so there's a C major seventh chord. Let's do one more. Here's D flat. If we were going to add the major seventh to this D flat major triad, we simply go down 1 note from D flat, which is C, and there's your chord. Okay, so this is a very, very nice little sound. Anytime you have a 1 chord, and some of you know what I mean by that, some of you won't. You can always learn later, but a 1 chord in a song, you can very often make that a major seventh instead. For example, that's just using a triad, but if we change it to a major seventh, it's just a cool little sound. There it is again. Nice, nice little dissonant, interesting sound that you can use in your music. There's a major seventh for you. We'll see you next time.